to come this time.
You were gone forever.
It was 3 days.
Where are we going?
Before Maui stole Te Fiti's heart, our ancestors wanted to connect our island to all the people of the entire ocean. It's my job as a wayfinder to finish what they started.
Wanna show our people just how far we'll go.
This is a call from the ancestors.
Hidden in a terrible storm. It's an ancient island.
Aloha.
Setting foot.
This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man. And today, opening weekend of the new movie, Moana Part 2. I went ahead and I watched it. Oh, by the way, happy Thanksgiving. And well, remember our rating scale, shock a thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for Moana 2, bringing back Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui and Ali Kavaho, I believe, as Moana. It is overall a shock a thumbs up. Now, I have seen some reviews mention in this movie that Lin-Manuel Miranda did not return for the music in this, and that it was felt by some reviewers. I have to admit that after watching the movie and listening to the songs, they're not quite as great as maybe the first Moana, but there are some great hits in this song, in this movie, for some of the songs that Moana sings. But then, you know, there's one like kind of a disco-ish song played by one of the villainesses in this movie that felt it wasn't clicking to me. I mean, I get the meaning of it, and it did play an essential role in motivating the characters and inspiring the characters on their journey. But the song itself felt a little flat, you know, and I don't think it was because it was based on a disco-like tune. It was just some of the lyrics and the rhyme and the rhythm wasn't quite clicking to 100% in this, but still, I feel that the songs, you know, they all hit a heartfelt note, and they all do their job in promoting the plot and the story along. So, if Disney saved a couple of bucks on Lin-Manuel Miranda, skipping him, plus, you know, nobody really liked his song "Shiny" anyways, from the first movie. So, I don't think you're really missing all that much. But other than that, this movie does fire on all cylinders, definitely brings the tears and the heartfelt moments, reminiscent of the first one. The stakes are bigger. Again, well, what do you mean the stakes are bigger? You know, her people are in trouble, in jeopardy, facing destruction, and yes, that is the case. But also, we find out not only for her own people on, Mahatui or whatever her island is, but also for all of the ocean-dwelling inhabitants that we suspect are out there. Essentially, Nalo, an evil Hawaiian god, has vowed or cursed mankind or humankind, to be more politically correct, in staying separate and apart. So basically the islands cannot intermingle, and thus, ultimately, as Moana finds out from a message from her ancestors, this will lead directly to the extinction of her people on her own island. Of course, You have to have a diverse gene pool, you know, when populating, you know, having children, or eventually the bloodlines run out. And that's essentially, you know, without spelling it out for you, is what will happen to the island dwellers if new inhabitants, new people aren't found. And that is Moana's task. Her mission is to find other civilizations on the ocean, other islands, other people, and intermingle them with her own culture and society here on the island. And what we get is, we find out the story is that Nalo, an evil Hawaiian god, has cursed mankind to live separately. We're not exactly sure why he hates mankind in this manner. It is teased that we'll get a part 3 Moana. And I think, you know, the box office will support that. I think, you know, the movie theater where I went was packed. All the other showings for today, the holiday, Thanksgiving, was packed. And I think it will, you know, I definitely think it will have a chance at breaking forth into #1 against Wicked this holiday weekend. Well, especially the holiday weekend. But you know, I think it'll come out #1 on the box office overall for the holiday weekend, even against Wicked, which is its strongest competitor at the box office. So basically, Moana must team back up with Maui, along with some other people of her crew. You know, that she has to get a crew because she needs a bigger boat for a longer journey. So we're introduced to many, many more characters than just Maui and Moana in the first movie, which I thought was going to be a repeat of the first one. But we do have other new blood interjected, even before, you know, discovering more people, just more people from her village. One who designs the boats, a farmer, because they need food, you know, and agriculture. I'm not sure why, you know, it's like, well, just take enough stores with you, you know, for your journey. But I guess, you know, not knowing how long the journey would be, the idea is for him to grow food on the boat, essentially. And then, you know, some younger guy who's obsessed with Maui is kind of a comic relief outside the chicken or the pig, who will also make a return for this movie. So essentially, we find out that Nalo has cursed mankind by keeping them separate, by obstructing the ocean channels that would allow them, other island people, to navigate, to find one another. And the only way to do this is for Moana to find an island that Nalo has sunken to the bottom of the ocean, and Maui must raise the island to the surface for a human to step foot on it, and thus is the only way for the curse to be broken. However, as some of the songs would indicate in this movie, there are always other ways to achieve your objective, and don't give up. If your first probable and expected solution doesn't work out, try another way to reach your objective, is the essential of the story, because Moana must do that, because although their plans are good, you know, Nalo is a full god against Maui the demigod, and just a handful of humans led by Moana to try to break this curse. And well, it is very exciting. It is very heartfelt. You know, I will say that there were some tears in my eyes. There's a profound moment where it's kind of left unclear at the end of this movie if, you know, and they don't answer it. You know, Maui kind of asks Moana a question at the end of this movie, and she sidesteps it comedically. Basically, you know, Moana looks like she's granted demigod status, similar to Maui, at the very least. You know, she does seem to have, well, she always did have the magical powers of communicating with the ocean, almost controlling the ocean. But it looks like at the end of this movie, she gains a little bit more, as if she needed it. But, you know, so I don't know, you know, the whole idea of, you know, some people say Moana is a Disney princess, and some people they make a joke of that in this movie, even though she's not a priestess or a princess. She's more of a chieftain, or whatever you call the female chief, I guess, still chieftain, I guess. Not that I think they ever had those, but I digress. You know, but essentially a chieftain, which is almost the same as a princess. I mean, you know, if you look at King Kamehameha, who was the chief of, you know, the head chief, and combined all the people, you know, he became king of Hawaii, of all the people in Hawaii. So, you know, I mean, you're not far off. You know, it's a hop, skip, and a jump from chief to, you know, to princess, or, you know, queen eventually, perhaps. But now, you know, they kind of sidestep that. If she is truly a demigod like Maui, then what does that, you know, that pretty much, it's like, well, what if she, you know, who cares if she's a princess? She's higher than that. She's a demigod. But, you know, I'll save all those for the spoilers in this movie. It is a shock, a thumbs up for this movie. Again, maybe some of the music doesn't quite, you know, resonate 100% on all cylinders, but still, it's plenty good enough for this. And still maybe not as strong as the first one, but it hits all the high notes that we're expected to see from Moana 1, and what we had hoped to see in Moana 2. Other than maybe, I thought maybe Dwayne Johnson's Maui would have a little bit more of a part. He kind of comes in at Act 2, and all of Act 1 is you know, Moana. I guess it's very similar to the first one as far as run times for as much as he's in the movie. But from Act 2 to 3, the conclusion, Maui is front and center, along with Moana in this movie. And I guess, you know, you had thought maybe, you know, that they were best buds at the end of the first movie, that they'd still be like hanging out, but, you know, Maui's got other things to do. And once again, Moana has to kind of find him on her journey. All right. Well, there you go. Shaka thumbs up for Moana Part 2. It is good to see. Plenty of kids in my theater, and they all seem to love it. And despite, you know, Dwayne Johnson's insistence on singing during the movies, I didn't hear anybody singing these songs. But again, this is the first day of the movies. Maybe a while after they learn these new songs from the movie, they'll start singing in the audience as well, like maybe they have started in Wicked. All right, mahalo and happy Thanksgiving. Aloha.